guys, welcome to another update. This is the second of the soundtrack, well, not really just soundtrack, the record collection updates. And we're still in the soundtrack pile. And I'm going to show a batch of records that I'm sure you're going to like. So let's get started. First one is The Formula. It's directed by John G. Avildsen, stars Marlon Brando, George C. Scott. Not really that special. It's kind of standard soundtrack music, and I'm not really into that, so I'm not going to talk a lot about this one. Then Clockwork Orange, music by Walter Carlos. It's a beautiful gatefold release that I just love. I love the whole gatefold thing. It's a beautiful release. Music's really good. It's great Moog music, and I love that. I love Moog music, and this is one of the first soundtracks to feature the Moog synthesizer. Good stuff. Then Walter Carlos turned into Wendy Carlos, and she made this soundtrack, or partially made this soundtrack. It's The Shining, and it's one of the most creepiest, really the most creepiest soundtracks I know. Not because of the Wendy Carlos thing, but basically because of the music by Gheorghe Ligeti and especially Christoph Penderecki. Penderecki, awesome composer, really scary music he makes, not just for this soundtrack, but in general. So if you like this soundtrack, check out his music, check out his classical music. It's very worth it, and you'll be scared shitless, trust me. And I got Walker. It's I think the only soundtrack that Joe Strummer of The Clash did. It's a beautiful release. The movie I saw years and years ago, and it was kind of weird. I liked it. But yeah, the soundtrack is pretty okay. It's got a lot of, Mexican style music in it. And that's basically it. You should check it out if you like that kind of stuff. It's nothing to do with punk rock, even though Joe Strummer was of The Clash. What is punk rock is this one. The Great Rock and Roll Swindle, or Who Killed Bambi. It's a gatefold release, double album. Some pictures inside. There's some nudity there, so I'm going to close it up. Yeah, this is great. I love this. It's got a lot of songs that the Sex Pistols did that were never released, and some of their classic songs done differently, very differently. There's like a real classical version of God Save the Queen. And it's just a great record. If you like the Sex Pistols, you like this, and you ought to have this, trust me. Now we got Tommy, the soundtrack. Here it is, again, a double album, gatefold. And to be quite honest, it is not that good, I think. I mean, it's not really cool to hear Oliver Reed sing a song, because he cannot sing. And there's other people. Jack Nicholson does a tune. Tina Turner does a really good tune, though. And it's not really, they're not doing the record of The Who justice. But it's fun. So, I mean, I don't have the original Tommy record, but I have the soundtrack. Then we got some Michael Nyman stuff. Michael Nyman did music for Peter Greenaway movies. This is a Droughtman's contract, and I love it. It's very minimalistic, it's very classical, but it's different. It's just not like your normal classical music. It's got a certain style that either you like it or you don't. And I do like the work that Michael Nyman did for Peter Greenaway. I have more of his stuff that he did for Peter Greenaway. This is A Sad and Two Noughts. I've never seen this movie, but I'm sure it's very artsy. The music, again, beautiful. It's very, very good. I like it. And yeah, again, you have to be into this kind of stuff if you want to really appreciate it. And the last one I have by Michael Nyman. It's Drowning by Numbers. Again, a movie by Peter Greenaway. And again, really good. It's not as good as the previous two I showed, but it's still pretty okay. But again, either you like it or you don't. Then I've got Koyaanisqatsi, which I think is a beautiful, beautiful documentary. And the music by Philip Glass is just breathtaking. I love this music so much. It's not that, normally I wouldn't put this on, like when there's company around, I wouldn't. But this is something I would play to everyone who comes into my house, just so they know what type of music I like besides all the other shit I listen to. Really, really good stuff. And there's another one that I have, and that's Powakatsi. That is maybe even more beautiful. Again, Philip Glass, and again, beautiful music. So it's the two Katsi movies that I have the soundtrack to. I don't have the third one, even though I like the music. I don't like the documentary that it's for. But these two movies are really good, and the music is awesome. Now, something, wow. This is pretty rare. It's the original music for El Topo. It's on Apple Records, and its music is created by Jodorowsky himself. It's a pretty rare release. It's a gatefold release, and it's got like these pictures in here, if I am able to show them. Oops, and one more. There you go. It's the music from the movie of Jodorowsky, and the movie is very precious to me. I really, really love Jodorowsky's movies, especially El Topo. And I'm so, so happy that I have this on vinyl, because it's pretty rare. It's been released on CD and available in the Jodorowsky box set, but still, I'd rather have this than the CD. This is such a beautiful package. Then we got more like experimental soundtrack stuff. This is Terry Riley with Happy Ending. It's actually music from the movie Le Jeu Vermeil. It says here. There's 2 songs on it, and they're very different. They're synthesizer stuff, but it's kind of, you know, minimalistic again. I like it, but again, I can understand if people don't like it. This is a pretty weird record. This is turn on, tune in, and drop out. It says it's an original motion picture soundtrack, and it could be, I don't know, I've never heard of the movie, but it's basically Timothy Leary, that's him. He sort of narrates a story of some guy getting an awesome trip, an LSD trip. And that's basically what this record tells you as well. Sorry about that. It's a guy that takes an LSD trip, and he gets, you know, Timothy Leary leads him through the trip. And there's one part in it which is called Freak Out, which is just awesome. But it's pretty weird, because you constantly hear Timothy Leary talk, and Timothy Leary saying like, yeah, flow, go along with the flow, and stuff like that. It's pretty okay, but it's weird, let's just say that. Then This is Pink Floyd's soundtrack to the movie More. It's directed by Barbara Schroeder. It's a very good movie. I like it. Too bad I have the UK version, which is kind of cut. There's a scene in which the two main characters, those two, are creating a drug cocktail, and they mention the ingredients. The BBFC said, nope, can't do that, so they took out the audio. So you see them create something, but you don't know what, which is pretty weird. Anyway, it's a great record, and if you like Pink Floyd, you'll like this. This is an awesome soundtrack. You Are What You Eat. It's a documentary from the late 60s, early 70s, I guess, about the youth culture of that period. But this record is so weird. This is really one of the most weirdest out there records that I have. It's got music from, among others, Tiny Tim and let's see, The Electric Flag. But it's just weird. It's very weird. There's pieces of dialogue from the movie, and I really want to see the documentary based on this record. It's that good. Tiny Tim is also something that I discovered through this record. He's awesome, but he's going to be in another update in the future. And we've got another hippie soundtrack. This is Revolution, featuring the music by the Quicksilver Messenger Server, Steve Miller Band, and Mother Earth. This is pretty standard psychedelic rock. Not really my cup of tea. I like the more out there psychedelic stuff. It's a pretty cool cover, and it's a nice addition to my soundtrack collection, but it's not really that awesome. This one is Zachariah. It's the one you hear in the background, if it can be heard, I don't know. It's a movie I've never seen, but it's a very cool soundtrack. It's got Country Joe and the Fish. That's the most famous band that's on there. Otherwise, it's pretty, unknown to me. But it's a pretty rocking soundtrack with some experimental stuff in it. I like it. And again, another movie that I would definitely want to see. Then it's Head by the Monkees. You gotta love Head by the Monkees. I mean, not Head by the Monkees. Well, the movie Head. It's one of my favorite pop band movies that I know of. It's very absurd. It's very strange. It's very weird, and the music is just very experimental. It's very noisy. It's very psychedelic, and it's very out there. And I love it. It's the best record that the Monkees ever did. Check it out. If you're into the Monkees, or if you're into psychedelic music. Either way, check out this music. Check out the movie. It's out on. It's getting a release by Criterion in a box set, which I'm not getting because it's very fucking expensive, but still very worth it. And we've got Candy. It's music by Dave Grusin, but there's 2 songs on it by pretty famous bands at the time, The Byrds and Steppenwolf. This is again just pure freak-out music from beginning to end. It's basically one freak-out track non-stop. I love it. It's great. The movie is a lot of fun. The music is a lot better. It deserves the movie it's in, of course, but I prefer the music better than I prefer the movie. Very cool record, very cool movie. Candy, great stuff.